I'm JJ. Welcome back. This is my last video for my huge end of the year book haul. It's not just stuff I got recently, it's stuff that I've been getting basically for the last like 6 months or something. I did a video that was primarily like YA books that were either LGBT or authors from around the world. And then my next video was all nonfiction. And this is just the odds and ends. So there's classics, fantasy, fiction, and then kind of some that I forgot to include in the other ones. So it's a massive book haul, but I will get through this. So the first one is completely random. I saw somebody talk about it. I forget her name, but it was Hidden Gem. I'll give the link to her YouTube page, but she was talking about this and she said she desperately wanted somebody else to read it so she could talk to about it. And I had just finished or was reading 100 Years of Solitude with its wacky plot and everything like that. So this kind of felt akin to that. There's magical realism, but really weird, interesting characters, including like there's kind of like a character with wings, but also the main character, his parents are literally like a washing machine in a mountain. So I don't know how that works, but it sounds like it was identity, self-acceptance, and found family, which are stuff that I'm very interested in. So this is called Someone Comes to Town, Someone Leaves Town by Cory Doctorow. And I swear these books are all over the place, so you're going to have to bear with me on these. Hopefully you'll find something that you enjoy. Love in the Big City. This is one I've been wanting to read. Song-Young Park. And this is, I believe he was in Korea, and it's a queer love story. So he's gay, and it's in a town where it's not accepted there, and he is desperately just hoping that amidst it all he can find his love story. It's supposed to be very beautiful. This is How You Lose Her by Diaz. And this one is an author from the Dominican Republic. I actually don't know a whole lot about what this book is about, but I have not read anyone from the Dominican Republic, and I've been trying to work my way around the world. And this one is my contribution to that. I'm sorry that I don't know more, but it was highly recommended all over YouTube, and it's from a country that I need to read, so we'll see how that goes. Some of these books are probably all going to fall over. Svetlana Alexievich, Chernobyl Prayer. So this is my first of the classics that I got. The Inconvenient Indian, the curious account of Native people in North America. So, excuse me, this is a sort of retelling of like the arrival of the colonizers to the, North America, the Caribbean and stuff like that, where it's told from the natives' point of view as they see these ships come in and have to deal with the invaders. I'm actually really excited about this one. So this one's a nonfiction. I had read several about Haiti and the slave rebellion, the Haitian Revolution, all that stuff. So in one of them, it was talking about how Cuba, because Haiti was fighting for freedom, the Spanish colonizers of Cuba were grasping tighter onto the slave trade there. So as Haiti was becoming free, Cuba was becoming more and more enslaved. And so I kind of was vaguely aware of that idea through those other books. And this one just actually compares the two. Freedom's Mirror, Cuba and Haiti in the Age of Revolution by Ada Führer. And so I'm hoping to get into more detail about that whole history and those comparing and contrasting of the two different nations. And I have not read a whole lot about Cuba separately anyway, so this is my first introduction to that. I'm trying to find a way where to put these books. My next one is a random one. I got it planning to try to participate, and I think it was Garb August, where you read like trashy books or just kind of random books in August. I didn't get around to it, but I picked this up, so I'll have to read it for next one. This is the Edith Wharton murders, and I always love it when they try to incorporate nonfiction, but fiction, historical fiction, but trying to incorporate a real person into the mix. And so I am a fan of Edith Wharton as a writer, and so I was just kind of intrigued on how it would all go as like a murder mystery type of thing. And the fun thing is that it's actually set at the University of Michigan, where I am from. So I am from Michigan, so I kind of got it specifically for that as well. And more random classics that I don't always hear about and was intrigued by. So this is Under Two Flags by, I don't know how, Oda. And so this guy, he has to fight, well, he's British, and then he ends up basically in Algeria, and then the French are there. So I'm not sure what side he fights for, which is the other flag. But I was intrigued by the story just because it's a classic that I haven't heard about, and it's not historical fiction, which I really enjoy. But it's a time period and a area and stuff that I'm also not overly familiar with. And I kind of, as I was reading it, the review and stuff for it, it also sounds like he's trying to pass for the other side, and there's like this mistaken identity, and I don't know if there's also a female soldier that he's fighting with who's dressing as a man, so it kind of felt like it had like the Milan vibes and stuff there. It sounded like there's a whole lot going on, so I'm hoping that it's even halfway as good as it was sounding when I was reading about it. This next one I'm really excited about. I've been wanting to read this trilogy for a while now. So the Wolfden trilogy by Elodie Harper is a historical fiction about Pompeii, and we all know it's going to be involving the volcano that destroys the whole city. But before that happens, you get to experience the lives of the people there, following a brothel, which is a fantastic entry into the city, I believe, because it's not the people that you would expect to be hearing about, to be experiencing through their eyes, and then to be rooting for, despite the fact that we know what's going to come to them. So this is the first book in that trilogy. The next one, Earth Abides. This is science fiction. This one I got because my friend Angelina over at Books Do Things to Me was hyping it up because she was reading for the Rocket Summer. So the basically 50s, 60s era, all those classic sci-fi stuff. And this one in particular, she made sound absolutely fascinating. So I got it as soon as she was talking about it, but I have not gotten around to read it. So maybe I'll put it out for my Rocket Summer next year. The next book, I also have been seeing a lot of people talk about it, and it sounds like it would be right up my alley. Boy's Life by Robert R. McCammon. And this sounds like, when they were describing it, like coming of age story, father and son story, almost murder mystery type of thing that he's trying to uncover. All while kind of being like a Stranger Things magic world. So it also had a lot going on, but the themes that were discussed that people keep talking about were stuff that I felt that was right up my my alley, and I wanted to read it. And so it's an 11-year-old, and it takes place in Alabama in the 60s. So a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm really hoping that it's as good as I've been hearing, and we will see. The next two are actually a duology that I got from my co-worker. She reads a lot of fantasy, and she had somehow come across 2 issues of these, and she didn't need the second set, so she gave them to me. And she said it's one of her favorite fantasy series. Apparently, from what she was saying, it sounds like this girl is almost possessed, or she has a like an entity inside of her that is not necessarily good, and they're kind of vying for control and stuff. At least from what she was talking about, is what I understood. I could be way off on that, but I am kind of ready for these, and it will give me something to talk to her about as well. The next one is one of my Read Around the World books as well. This one's a British Amani Zanzibari. I cannot say that name. Zanzibari. I hope I got that right. Author. And so I haven't read anything from Aman. And this story, The End of Summer by Salah El-Bazadi, and she, the main character is a 22-year-old who is dead, and she wakes up seeing her lifeless body, and kind of follows her younger sister around when she finds the body, and how she experiences that loss and stuff like that. So I won't be reading it right now because I had my own loss recently, but maybe when I'm ready, this will help me with some healing and stuff. So if you have any thoughts on this, if you've read this one, please let me know. If it's going to be really hard to read for somebody who is also going through grief. Otherwise, if it's going to be more lighthearted and healing and stuff, maybe I could read it sooner. So please let me know. The next one is Houses by Borislav Pekic. And this one is another for my Read Around the World. Now I cannot for the life of me remember where he's from. Serbo-Croatian was the language, so probably one of the two. And I am fascinated by, art, architecture, sculptures, like all that stuff. And so when they're talking about building and that aspect along with community and what it all means, I don't know. I really want to explore the kind of the intersection between necessity and family, and I'm hoping that this is what I want it to be. I didn't fully go into all of it. I just hearing about it, seeing it, it sounded like something that I would want to read, so I didn't want to kind of go in there with any high expectations, so I didn't fully read the summary and stuff for this, but I just am going to let my expectations be what they are right now. The next one is a middle grade book. Mani Samila finds her Quetzal voice, and this is actually Mayan influenced. So she realizes that she has Mayan ancestry and is, struggling with, coming to age, growing up, family issues, with her parents and stuff. And so she needs to, accept the heritage that she discovers about herself. And so I don't read and I don't know a lot about any books that include Mayan, so I'm really hoping that this is as good as that I want that to be as well. The next one is Montang by Stephen Zweig, and so this one is almost a dual biography with like a memoir. So Zweig is a writer, and he left Germany after the rise of Hitler, and he was struggling with a lot of the moral issues of the day, trying to understand himself and his place, apparently, in the world, and he comes across the writings of Lung Tang. And he finds out that they actually have very high influence on his life now, and he starts to want to learn as much as he can about Montaigne and his philosophy and his life and stuff, and it sort of mirrors his own, especially when he talks about death and dying by death by suicide, because when apparently when he and his wife they flee eventually to Brazil, where they die by an overdose. So whether it's suicide or accidental, it kind of still mirrors the writings and the readings that he was reading. So it's a small book, and I'm really excited to read it. The next one is The Next New Syrian Girl. I have not read anything from Syria as well. This is by Riam Shikiari. I'm probably saying that name wrong, so I apologize. And so they're both Syrian. So one's a Syrian American and one's a Syrian refugee who comes to America, and they start to go to school together. And first they think that they're so different because their life experiences have been so different. But pretty soon they start to realize how similar they actually are, and can share that culture and understanding and stuff with each other. So I am also excited to read this one. The next one, Two Sherpas. I forget who, I think it was Nicole, and I can't remember what her YouTube page is, but I think she was talking about this one, and it's about these basically to the Sherpas who are assisting Englishmen on the climb on the mountain, and the Englishmen fall. And so it's kind of like a meditation on life, on experience, on death, and on maybe their culpability in that death. And I just have always been fascinating when it comes to like Mount Everest and climbing, whether it's rock climbing or mountain climbing, and just to get like a human perspective of meditation on it, rather than like the adventure, into thin air was a fantastic book, but I would like to get also a more human perspective of life and death and adventure and stuff like that. So I'm hoping good things for that as well. So the next book, and I always butcher her name, Annie Priol. I'm not sure how to say her name, but this is Barkskins. I have been waiting for this book to come forever, and I read shipping news by her ages ago, and I really don't even remember any of it. I just remember that I liked it. And apparently she also wrote Brokeback Mountain, which I have actually not read or watched the movie, but it's also very popular. What I liked about this one is she follows a family in the business of, like basically they're loggers. And that's where the bark comes in. And so generations of this family also following as they travel multi-continental, I believe. North America, Europe, China, New Zealand, all dealing with the logging industry and trees and culture and environment and everything that I actually enjoy. So I like the sweeping generational aspect of this, but I also don't know very much about this industry specifically, and I would like to learn more. So I'm hoping this will also be educational. The next book is also another really big book that I've had on my TBR forever and haven't gotten to yet. The 40 Days of Musada. And this is by Franz Werfel. I don't know if it's Werfel or Werfel. And so this is about it's a novel, but it's about the Armenian genocide, as you follow this family who has to try to escape and survive. So it's they deal with, it says, the Ottoman Empire, the governmental order roundups, deportations, and the villagers of Musada fight back. So I've read quite extensively about the Armenian genocide, whether it's Armenian Americans. There was a really good sapphic romance book called Sorry Bro that detailed how Armenian Americans in the diaspora feel about the genocide and try to continuously get it recognized as one, because Turkey refuses to admit culpability, and just trying to enjoy life now, but still kind of have that link to the past, with so many of their family members dying or escaping. And so that kind of led me on to reading it. And then I read several memoir, like a memoir that was about grandpa's trip, and then the granddaughter went on that same trip that he did to try to escape, and so you get the backstory as well as is her journey of like retracing her grandfather's steps. So I really have been interested in learning and understanding more, and so I hope that this I'm sure that this will add to that knowledge and understanding for me. The next one is another recommendation from Angelina. When she was saying that she read a few from around the world as well, I asked her what her favorite was, and she said The Ice Palace, and that's by Tarjei Vesaas, and this is a Norwegian, and I also don't know much about it. All I know is she said it was her favorite, and I picked it up. It's a short one, so I'm hoping to get through this one quickly as soon as possible. The next one is A Hearing Test by Eliza Barry Callahan. And this is a novel about a woman who is losing her hearing, and how she tries to cope with this incoming loss, and how she seeks to understand it, and how she feels about it. This is also a very short one. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it this month, because I'm trying to read a lot of lighter stuff to roll out the end of the year, but it is Disability Month this December, and so I do have a few books that I'm going to participate in for that, but they're graphic novels that won't take as much time, but this also is short, so I might get to it, but otherwise I definitely plan to read it next year. If you have time this month, I definitely recommend reading something for Disability Month. We don't get to do that enough, and we don't get to, honor and celebrate them enough. And as you can see, all of these books, with the exception of like two, I got all used. So there. This one is The Phoenix Keeper, and this one is by S.A. McLean. It's a fantasy about all the mythical creatures in a zoo, and so phoenixes, griffins, all that kind of stuff. I hope there's dragons, but there's like this rivalry between two of the zookeepers. That sounds intriguing, because I don't know why they would be rivals unless they are up for like a same position or something. So I will find that part out. But I do love my my fantasy, and I like that this is a standalone book, so that I don't have to delve into a whole lot of world building and commit to a whole lot of books. So the next one is another short one. This is Affections by Rodrigo Hasbun. This is another one about escaping, Hitler, but not escaping Hitler, like just escaping Germany, because the main character in here was a Nazi propagandist, and so when they leave, when they lose the war, he and his family have to leave, and they settle in Bulgaria. So I have not read anything from Bulgaria, and this is a Bulgarian author. So you get to hear his point of view of that, as well as the fact that Che Guevara makes another appearance. And like I said, he pops up in a lot of my reading, especially when I'm dealing with South American countries and stuff. So here he shows up again. So that will be exciting, at least when I also read his biography. So then I'll kind of get even more about him. This is Tarjei Vesaas again, the same one who wrote the one I was just talking about. The Ice Palace. And he also wrote The Birds. And this one, I didn't realize when I got them because I got them separately. I heard about this one on my own rather than getting recommended by Angelina. And so this one deals with a brother and a sister. And the brother is, he's got like a developmental disability. And the sister is always taking care of him. But then the sister wants her, you know, her own life and wants to find love and stuff. So what happens to him when she's no longer his priority? And it sounds like it's from his point of view. So I'm very intrigued by this. I don't know, maybe he'll be one of my new favorite authors. We'll see. This is another short one, but I probably also won't get to it this month for Disability December. But if anyone else wants to participate in that and they don't want to read the hearing test, I do recommend The Birds, because at least you can get it done quickly and still be able to participate in that. I only got a couple more. I'm just going to grab them. This next one is one that is probably of all of them, the one I'm most excited for and looking forward to. This one is the sci-fi The Arc of the Universe by Nikki Alexander. And she is supposed to, the main character, Carrie, is supposed to be writing the Constitution for the new establishment in Mars. And she's, you know, studied constitutional law her whole life. She thinks she's the best for this job. She's really excited for it. She's going to base it on the U.S. Constitution. And then, as a black woman in America, she gets brutalized by the cops and starts to wonder if the injustices and stuff that she has to endure from that is something that she wants to carry around in Mars as she's trying to recreate that Constitution, and that maybe she needs to start from scratch rather than from the Constitution from the country that she used to be so proud of. There's so much in here that sounds absolutely fascinating and very relevant, and I'm really excited for this one. Like I said, this is probably my most anticipated of all of these, and I will definitely be reading that one in the new year as soon as possible. The next one is a graphic novel. It has similar art. I don't know if any of you have read We Are Not the Enemy, George Takei's story about the Japanese internment camps in the United States during World War II. It has a similar feel to that. This is also a non-fiction autobiographical type of story about a journey from Vietnam, trying to escape the Vietnam War and come to the United States. So it's a family saga. It's about survival and family and love and war and culture, you know, clashes and all the stuff. I'm also really excited about this one. And then my last one is, if you watched my nonfiction edition of books, I will be focusing a lot on Burma next year, since I haven't read anything from there. I don't really know anything about the country. This may be my ignorance showing, but I'm still very confused on a map. That's when they always say Myanmar and Burma, who calls it what the country actually goes by, why it's still considered two separate names. If anyone knows that one, I would really be interested, but hopefully my reading also helps me understand and process that. My other ones were all nonfiction. I also have a nonfiction biography of a woman activist from Burma who was imprisoned, very Nelson Mandela-ish, because they wanted to silence her. So that will be her story. I don't know why it's not included here. I misplaced it somewhere, but I do have that one to read. And this one is a novel about Burma. And so this one is called The Glass Palace by Amitav Ghosh. And, oh wow, Doug will appreciate this one. It says it's the Dr. Zhivago of the Far East. Dr. Zhivago is also one of my to-dos on for the Russian classics in the year to come. But this one tells the story of the British soldiers who invaded in the Burmese forest in 1885. And the royal family, which are part of the Glass Palace, are set into exile. And in exile, one of the princes, he befriends a woman, and it says Dolly, the woman who will shape whose love will shape his life. And so it sounds sweeping and with historical relevance and understanding, colonization, war, displacement. It will be interesting to take it from the point of view of a noble, a royal at that, because, you know, especially with the 40 days in Musada, that's, you know, just going to be everyday citizens who fight back and who have to flee and try to face survival. And this is going to be, you know, flipping that on its head and be a royal who is used to having all the power and, you know, safety and, you know, a cushiony life. And now he's in exile with his family and has to see how the other half live, while also knowing that his country that he was meant to rule and to protect is now being colonized by an invading force. So I am very fascinated by this story. And it says the struggles that have made Burma, India, and Malaya the places they are today. And I have read some really great Malaysian historical fiction books. So I would love to see how this ties into that. Once again, this one is The Glass Palace. And so those are my last of the year books for my book haul. And I hope that you found some that you would be interested in. If you've read any of them, please let me know what you think. If you have similar ones I'm always open to recommendations, even though I'm focusing on 2026 being a no-buy 2026. I would always be, you know, interested in what you have to say, especially if they're similar to any of these, or if you have countries from around the world, books that you would recommend that I might not have mentioned yet, so that I can learn about them as well. Anyway, as always, happy reading. Have a great day. Thank you.